San Diego Global Knowledge University.
The New Knowledge Order, Innovation and Global Competition. Introduction, welcome. In this class, we'll talk about how we're going through a big change. Value isn't mostly made with physical things anymore. Instead, it's made with knowledge, how fast we learn, and how well we can change. In our 24-hour society, the world becoming more connected means there are no longer competitive borders. Technology is changing how we do things, and how we see them. And customers want things right away and want to know everything. So, the challenge isn't just using tools, it's about changing how we think, how companies are set up and how we work. We need to act like smart, ethical, and connected networks. This text will explain this idea using 4 main points: innovation and global competition, learning organizations, managing time and stress, and working together globally with the help of AI and social responsibility. The economic and social reality we face isn't just a time of changes, but a deep transformation in how we create value. As Dr. Richard Page points out at the start of this analysis, we absolutely need both people and companies to learn to think outside the box. This idea isn't just about being creative, but also a technical warning. Old ways of thinking and rigid structures from the last century aren't enough to handle a market that now works 24 hours a day and is always connected. To succeed in this world, we need to be good at using our most important, but also most limited, resource: time. We can do this by using technology smartly to connect us to a global society. To understand where we're headed, we need to break down the forces driving this change. First, globalization has rewritten the rules of competition. The protection of local markets is gone. Today, any process or service can be copied or made better anywhere in the world, which means we always have to be efficient. Second, the technology revolution acts like the nervous system of this new age. It's not just about having better tools, but how these tools change how we see the world. Finally, customer expectations have completely flipped. Today's customer doesn't just want good quality, but also wants things right away and always available, which pushes businesses to get rid of the idea of closing time. A key idea we're looking at in this talk is how people start using new technology, which we call the S-curve. This curve shows us that technology doesn't just grow in a straight line. It starts slow, then speeds up really fast, and then it settles down. In places like Latin America, this is a special chance. Old-fashioned landline phones took many years and lots of money to build, and they never reached everyone. But mobile technology is letting people skip all that and jump straight into the digital world. Millions of people are using wireless devices to join the digital economy. They're getting past the old problems of not having physical connections and are instantly linking up to all the world's information. Following Manuel Castell's ideas, we now live in a network society. In this world, information moves easily, but this very speed creates a strange problem, focusing only on the short term. Organizations get stuck trying to get quick results, which makes it hard to plan for the future. However, power has shifted. Today, more scientists are working together in real time than ever before, which makes new ideas happen much faster. This network doesn't just connect computers, it connects minds, creating a group intelligence that is the real valuable thing in today's knowledge economy. So, this whole discussion makes us think about how much power big companies have in the world. It's like we're seeing a business civilization, where huge international companies have more money and influence than even some countries. This has changed how jobs work. No longer do people expect to have a job for life. Instead, workers have to be like their own bosses, managing their skills and careers. But there's also a new kind of power rising up: the ethical consumer. People are starting to not trust these giant companies as much, and companies are finding out that in today's fast-paced world, being honest, open, and caring about society isn't just the right thing to do. It's actually super important for them to stay in business and have a good reputation for a long time. Now, we're diving into the heart of the learning organization. This is a concept that goes beyond just collecting information. It's actually the only way to survive and stay relevant in a world that's always changing. We're talking about a big shift here, where old-fashioned, top-down structures are falling apart because we need to be quick thinkers and fast movers all the time. The discussion clearly states that, in today's world, being better than others isn't about how much stuff you own. It's about how fast a company can understand information and turn it into useful knowledge. It suggests that learning isn't just something you do once in a while, like a yearly training class. Instead, it should be a constant flow that touches every part of the company. For a company to truly be a learning organization, it needs to be able to spot its own mistakes, fix them, and, most importantly, see changes in the market before they become big problems. This means being really open to looking at yourself critically and not being afraid to fail, because every mistake is actually seen as valuable information for the system. A key idea we talked about here is personal mastery. You can't have a smart organization if the people in it aren't focused on getting better themselves. We see personal mastery as always trying to reach a clear picture of what's real now versus what you want to happen. This creates a creative tension that helps things move forward. Along with this, we find the challenge of mental models. These are like hidden maps in our minds that tell us how we see the world. The story warns that many companies fail, not because they don't have enough stuff, but because their leaders are stuck with old ways of thinking that stop them from seeing new chances. So, a modern leader's job is to help the company unlearn old ideas to make room for new ways of working together. The technical core of this conversation is systems thinking. It's like a special language that helps us see the whole picture, not just tiny pieces. Usually, in regular management, problems are dealt with one by one. For example, marketing tries to fix a drop in sales, while production tries to cut costs. But often, they don't see that these two things are connected. Systems thinking helps us find the hidden patterns and connections. It shows us that today's problems are often caused by yesterday's solutions. This means quick fixes that didn't think about what would happen to the whole system in the long run. So, a smart organization looks for high-leverage solutions. These are small, well-aimed changes that make a big, lasting difference. Moving to this new way of working needs a shared vision. This isn't a vision forced from the top. It's a real goal that brings people together for a common purpose. When there's a shared vision, people don't just do their jobs, they commit to them. This is a big difference when we talk about getting things done. You see this a lot in team learning where talking things through takes the place of arguing. In an argument, everyone tries to win and prove their point. But in a real talk, team members put aside their judgments to look at a problem's tricky parts together. The result is a group intelligence that's way better than just adding up what each person knows on their own. Finally, this new way of thinking changes how we see a company's worth. The old way of looking at money isn't enough to tell if a company is healthy in today's world, where knowledge is key. The real treasure is what we call intellectual capital. This means how well people can come up with new ideas, how loyal they are, and how creative they can be. In a world that never sleeps, being flexible with time and technology isn't just a nice extra. It's what's needed for talented people to do their best work when they feel most energized. The main point is clear. The companies that will last are the ones that can act like a network of cells. They'll be smooth and open, where information flows freely. It won't get stuck behind office walls or strict rules. Instead, it will move around to help make quick decisions. Now we'll talk about the practical and hands-on side of time and stress management in the 24-hour society. We're moving from big-picture ideas about how companies work to how individuals think and feel. We'll look at how the fast pace of the digital world is changing how our bodies and minds react to work. The talk starts by looking at a technical truth we can't ignore. Technology has gotten rid of waiting times, but it has also made our brains work much harder. In this fast-paced world, our brains are always getting new information, and our nervous system sees it all as urgent. This urgent culture keeps our stress response system on high alert. This system was made to help us with real dangers, not for dealing with emails or constant notifications. The story warns that stress isn't a sign of being good at things. It's a sign that we're struggling to keep up with what's asked of us and what our brains can handle. If we don't learn to break things down and choose what's important, it will definitely lead to burnout. A big turning point in this part is when we talk about how it's not good to just warm the seat. We explain that, in today's world where ideas and knowledge are key, what really matters isn't how many hours someone spends in an office. Instead, it's about the quality of their best creative moments and how well they solve problems. The 24-hour society needs us to move towards managing by results. This means workers get to decide when and where they do their best work. But this freedom also needs a lot of self-control. You have to be able to set clear boundaries between your work life and your home life. If you don't, your office just moves into your home through your smartphone. This stops your brain from getting the rest it needs to keep coming up with new ideas. Strategic prioritization. What's urgent versus what's important. Shutterstock. This part talks about tools to help you handle your busy day. It brings back the difference between what's urgent and what's important. A lot of people spend their workdays dealing with emergencies, things that are urgent and important, or interruptions, things that are urgent but not important. They often ignore planning and prevention, which are the things that truly create long-term value. The video suggests that being truly productive in today's digital world means setting aside long, uninterrupted blocks of time. This is called deep work. For tasks that need a lot of focus, you need to protect these times from being broken up by constant messages and notifications. A cool new idea here is putting chronobiology right into our work schedules. We learn that everyone has their own body clock, called circadian rhythms. Some people are sharpest in the morning, while others do their best work at night. A smart way to plan the 24 hours shouldn't force a strict schedule. Instead, it should let the hardest tasks line up with when each employee has the most energy. The story even talks about how important short breaks and power naps are. They help us reset our focus and stay accurate during long shifts or jobs that need a lot of brain power. Finally, the story focuses on how leaders help their team's well-being. Modern leaders aren't just supervisors, they help build a strong and flexible organization. This means making a safe space where employees can say they're overwhelmed without being afraid of getting in trouble. We learn that a company that pushes its people until they're burned out is actually not working well. The cost of mistakes made when people are stressed and people leaving their jobs ends up being more than any quick gains. So, for a company to last in our always-on world, it needs a work environment that values rest and good mental health. These are super important for being competitive around the globe. Finally, we'll bring together the last step towards the age of global collaboration. Here, closing the gap between technology, ethics, and people becomes the most important goal. The story changes from just managing individual tasks to building a connected system that redefines why organizations exist. The final talk shows us a picture where businesses don't work alone anymore. Instead, they're like parts of a big team-up network. It explains that in today's always-on world, no single company has everything it needs to come up with new ideas by itself. The story talks about how companies are now becoming extended businesses. This means the lines between who is a supplier, a partner, and a customer are blurring. Being good at technology now means everything has to work well together. Not just computer systems, but also how different companies think and act. This teamwork lets knowledge move around super fast. So, a small company in a new area can join a big international company's work chain using trusted online platforms. A key point in this section is to show that technology isn't here to replace people. The story suggests a model called technological symbiosis. This is where AI and automation handle the less important jobs, like crunching huge amounts of data, doing the same logistics tasks over and over, and always watching things. This frees up workers to focus on things only humans can do, understanding feelings, making good ethical choices, and coming up with new ideas. It's really important to remember that the smart workers of the future shouldn't try to compete with machines. Instead, they should learn how to work with them to make their own problem-solving skills even better. The real advantage comes when the machine's exactness teams up with human gut feelings to solve tricky problems that neither could handle alone. The story gets really deep into ethics when we talk about the triple bottom line. It says that in our super-connected world, everyone can see what a company does all the time. So, just making money isn't enough to say a company is doing well. We also need to look at how it helps people and the environment. The conversation warns that companies that don't care about their community or the planet will quickly become reputationally obsolete. Today's customers are like voters, and they'll only stick with brands that truly care about making the world better. This changes corporate ethics from just a marketing cost into something that actually helps a company make money. To bring things full circle, the conversation goes back to each person, but from the idea of lifelong learning. The story says that a degree isn't the end, but just the beginning. In a world where what we know doubles super fast, the most important skill is learning how to learn. It talks about how companies need to become like schools where learning new skills is part of the daily work. This makes a strong and flexible team, able to change their jobs whenever technology makes an old skill less useful. The end of our story makes us think about what will happen to the 24-hour society. It's not just about working more or being faster, it's about using our global connections to make a smarter and kinder world for everyone. The story ends by saying that the way to the future is built with trust and being connected. By mixing quick technology with a clear goal and a deep respect for how people naturally work, companies won't just get through big digital changes. They'll lead the way to a future where everyone can do well. The last message is a hopeful but real one. We have the tools and the smarts. Now the challenge is, if we have the will to create a system where technology helps people, instead of the other way around. Conclusion. The main idea is clear. In today's world, where knowledge is key, staying ahead means learning faster than things change. The company that makes it isn't the biggest, but the one that turns information into smart choices, fixes mistakes without blaming people, and works with a big picture view, shared goals, and teamwork. At the same time, our 24/7 world can be tough on people if we don't manage our time well, set boundaries, and create a workplace that protects our mental health and helps us bounce back. Lastly, working together globally, using AI as a smart helper and balancing profit with social and environmental good are changing what success means. In short, the future needs companies that are connected, quick, and fair, able to bring together technology, people, and purpose to compete without losing their human touch.
San Diego Global Knowledge University, Education Beyond Boundaries.